friends, it is Tuesday, March 1st, our very first board meeting of March, and we just finished up. It was about a 3-hour meeting. We covered a lot of information. I want to say that my condolences go out to the family, friends, and just brothers and sisters of John Miles. We lost him, and his celebration of life is going to be on March 12th. And, I did a post about him because I don't know that I've gone to one march, one gathering for any social justice cause that John wasn't there wearing his really bright vest and protecting all of us as we marched. And so our community is deeply indebted to John, and I just want to extend my condolences and thank you to his family for sharing him with us. We love you, John, and we'll miss you. I also want to, I don't believe that I had the opportunity to speak on the passing of David Bradley, Senator David Bradley, and Olivia Cajero Bedford, and I just want to extend my sincerest condolences to all of our community. We're all indebted for your service, and thank you so much for everything that you did for us. So we started out the board meeting with land acknowledgments by our county recorder, Gabriela Casares Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us. I think it just sets a tone for the meeting, and I really wanted, the idea was to have speakers come in and read the land acknowledgement from either the Pasco Yaqui or the Tohono O'odham, and I'm hoping that we're going to continue that trend. So we did call, the meeting started, Chair Bronson took a point of personal privilege to send her support, and that she's standing in solidarity with Ukraine. And so I thought that was really well put as well. So we started the meeting sort of out of order with Sheriff Nanos talking about fentanyl overdoses and COVID in the jail. I did ask him, he had a nice conversation with other board members, answer some questions. Then I asked about whether we are requiring boosters, because, being vaccinated is required, but boosting is not. And so in a recent meeting with the director of HR, I asked about what the issues are related, with COVID, and, since most people are vaccinated, and she sort of paused and said, well, we don't know if everyone's boosted. And so if you're not boosted after Johnson & Johnson, 2 months after Johnson & Johnson, it's basically like you haven't been vaccinated, and it's 6 months after Pfizer or Moderna. And so please get boosted. It makes a huge difference. And that was something that just sort of stood out at that conversation. On item 10, we had an item about in-person board meetings, and that passed 3-2. I voted against it, and I want to explain why. It has nothing to do with the fact that I don't think that we should start having in-person meetings. My issue was the fact that everyone in the building, if masks are required in our county buildings, everyone in the building would have to wear a mask except our supervisors. And I just don't think that we should be exempt that way. We should show an example by being leaders, and I believe that that's why Supervisor Hines also voted against in-person meetings. With that, our next meeting on March 15th will be in person, and it'll be the first time since elected. So it is exciting, but I still will be wearing a mask, and I think that all of us should be required to if everyone in the building is. So item 11, we released the county attorney's memo regarding gun shows. And so I know that was a really an issue that came up several times, even yesterday when I was talking to the Democrats of Greater Tucson. There was a lot of interest in that, so we'll be sure to get that memo out. Item 27 is a fee schedule and changes recommended by County Recorder Gabriela Casares Kelly. And basically what was requested is that this be moved to the March 15th meeting because there were so many questions that weren't answered. We had a really good presentation from the county attorney's office explaining in detail all of the issues. And in this item, we had Chair Bronson make a comment basically requesting that our current county recorder check in with our previous county recorder. And I just thought that was completely out of line and uncalled for and not our role at all. She is a duly elected person and deserves that respect. And I think that a lot of the issues that are coming up with vote centers, with this fee issue, anything coming out of the county recorder's office is it's starting to feel a little more personal than just, needing basic facts. And so I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but there is a lot of disregard and disrespect shown during the board meetings that I feel like I have to call out, and I shouldn't have to in this position. We're all duly elected and deserve the respect of the office, and our county recorder does as well. With addendum number 3 and 4, I spoke on this a little bit. We have vote centers that our Chair Bronson brought back for reconsideration. She voted in favor of both of the items. One was for the vote centers and the other was for the e-poll books that are, part of the package. And she asked on item addendum 3 and 4 to reconsider. And so really what that means is you're reconsidering the vote, so you can't have a conversation about the merit of the item. First, you vote to reconsider, and then you can have a conversation about it. So we were very limited on what we said. We basically voted no. The item failed, or it didn't pass. It was 3-2. And so Supervisor Scott, Supervisor Hines, and myself voted against reconsideration. And then Chair Bronson took an opportunity to sort of talk about why she wasn't in favor of vote centers when that wasn't an opportunity afforded to the rest of us. And so I sort of brought that out, that I thought that was out of order. But I do want to say that we just received a memo regarding the distribution of vote centers. And while I am in favor of vote centers, I do think they have to be equitably distributed. And when we look at the number of vote centers in District 5, we have 12. In all of the other districts, they have over 20. So we are definitely going to have an issue with that, because that is not equitable distribution, considering the fact that the number of voters in our district compared to the other districts is the same. So I understand that there is a need to go ahead and put voting centers in rural areas, but we don't have any in Pascoyaki in District 5. There's not one vote center there. So we're going to be bringing that up, and I'm sure hear more about that. We item number 6 was eliminating masks in our county buildings. And so we know that mask requirements in Pima County, we allowed that to expire, but that every business, every building, everybody has the opportunity to require masks in their restaurants or private business or IBM, Raytheon, whoever. And so in Pima County, we're still requiring masks. This was to rescind them everywhere, effective immediately. This item passed, and it passed 3-2 with Supervisor Hines and I voting no, because there was this deadline. It was a March 11th date, and it sounded to me as if it didn't matter where we were as far as either at high transmission, moderate, or low transmission, that on March 11th, masks were no longer required in our county buildings. So I voted no for that, because I don't think that that's in the best interest of the health of our community. We're still in high transmission, and everyone is acting as if we're still not in a pandemic. And so that actually passed, and as of March 11th, unless something changes, we're not going to be required to have masks in any of our county buildings. That includes our libraries, our health department, our clinics, any other county building. There is one other item that I would love to invite the community to this Friday, March 4th, from 3 to 5 p.m. at 101 West Irvington. We will be finally dedicating the Frank de la Cruz El Pueblo Library. And so I hope you can join us. I'll be there. Richard Barker, who was the director of the center, my father, Raul Grijalva, will also be there. We'll have Mariachi Aslan de Pueblo High School. And so, I'm a huge fan of them. And so I hope you can join us and really just celebrate the dedication of this library that is long overdue. So thank you all, friends, for your time and attention to Pima County Politics. Stay safe.